Sometimes this happens with Twitch. Like after 2 hours, it starts to go bonkers. So we hit the 2 hour mark, and it got tired. I think we should be back now. Let me check on my end. Let me just go here. So you guys, just everyone refresh. It should be fine. Let's see. Refresh.
Kevin, it's Kevin. It's getting brighter in the window. So
The sun had to pull the blind down.
yeah.
I saw that. I saw you had a nice lens flare going on there. I was impressed.
Yeah, I had a light wave lens flare going on.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, we're good. We're totally fine with the stream. Sometimes, guys, sorry. Sometimes the stream drops out like that. But yeah, just guys, refresh the browser. Just refresh the browser, and we're all good. I'll type that again in the chat. Refresh. We're good. Refresh. Everything okay. Also, yeah. So Kevin, I saw you had a nice lens flare coming in. It's just finally daylight there in Brisbane. Kevin's coming all the way from Australia, guys, and he got up at before 5 a.m. to join us on the stream today. So Kev, thank you so much for being here, man. That's super kind of you, and that's no easy task.
Yeah,
thank you so much. That you guys are amazing.
No worries, good to be here. I'm just waiting for my son actually to come in because my wife's she's gone to work now with my daughter Grace. She made me a cup of tea, so I'm just waiting for Jack to come around the corner to pull him into the feed.
Oh yeah, bring him over.
Yeah, he's 7, so he's a cute kid.
Ty Razor saying that Richard and your team, you guys made Amiga great again. Everyone is super psyched about the game, and it is. So we're so, like I said before, we are just so lucky to have folks like you who are super talented and dedicate their lives and their spare time and their family time to making new Amiga games for us, for the community. It's you guys are heroes for us. So thank you guys so much, and thanks for coming on the stream today. It's an honor to have you guys here.
Thank you.
I'm just saying, yeah, everyone got nervous when the stream went down. I know sometimes that happens, guys. So sorry about that. Twitch can be great, but it can also be a little wonky. And guys, we're literally around the world. So Kevin is in Brisbane, Australia. Richard and Martin are in Germany, and I'm in New York City. So we're, I guess, literally around the world. So and it's all happening through a 2013 MacBook Pro. So fingers crossed. I gotta upgrade my stream machine soon, but I think that was just a little Twitch glitch, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Is it amazing that we can now chat? I mean, 20 years ago that would not have happened. 20 years ago it would not be possible to do Reshoot-R because I would not have been able to contact Kevin really. I mean, I would have to send a disk to him by postal, by using some postal service, which would take like 2 or 3 weeks, and it just would not have worked. And nowadays it's just amazing.
Yeah, that's one thing, like, I don't know, you guys might not know much about me. It's like my first time talking to some of you guys. But, I still run an Amiga user group in White Plains, New York, and we started back in 1989. And that was how we got together. We didn't have the internet back then, and we just got together at user group meetings in person and hung out, shared ideas and whatnot. But now, thanks to these streams and thanks to video chat, it's amazing, like, how connected the world is. I remember, like, we met in New York, and we were just like, wow, like, we had no clue what was going on in Europe, really. Like, our only connection to Europe was the guy who owned the store where we had our meetings would have European magazines, European Amiga magazines, and that was our only connection to Europe. And all we knew was you guys, like, danced a lot and had good music and parties. And you guys were like had all the cool, like, intros, on the games, all the crack intros, and that's kind of all we knew. So now like, I've learned so much more about the culture and the scene in Europe, the Amiga scene in Europe now, that I would have never known back then, just because there was the lack of communication. So sorry. And also, I want to give another shout out to DJ Billy Nest and the Athens, the Vintage Computer Society of Athens. I mentioned them before, but time to mention them again. I'm a beta tester for the it's called the Greek Stick. It is a joystick that's pretty rad and in development, and I'm testing it for these guys. And again, we're talking about you guys making new games for the Amiga. It's amazing that people are also making, like, new hardware for the Amiga. So kudos to everyone who's making new stuff for the Amiga. It's amazing. New joysticks, new accelerator cards. It's incredible. Guys making new motherboards. That's that's incredible stuff. It's amazing. If you want to throw a link down to the chat, DJ Billy Nest, go for it, my man. I think I need to play keep playing the game.
Bill, some quick shout out from Sinat. You know him.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
you?
Oh, Senat, he's the best. I love him.
He just wrote me to give you some shout outs from Retrokram. So.
Oh, that is just awesome. Yeah, Senat is the man. He was one of my first. Senat is one of my early subscribers, and he's the one that made the Amiga Bell dance, that silly dance that I do all the time. That was his
You know
handiwork.
who made the music?
You made the music? No way. Oh my god.
Yeah. We did
That
it for the Spritgate, you know.
Yeah, we did it for the retro. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh wow! So I'm honored now. I'm doubly honored. You guys made me. You defined me. That's what everyone knows me as. That's how everyone's like. They're like, who's this nut job dancing around? And like Sainot said to me, he's like, yeah, I just want you to like, we're doing this music video, and I just want you to like stand in front of a green screen and dance around. And I'm like, oh, all right, sure. So it was my buddy Anthony and I were heading off to do some Amiga event, and I set up the green screen in my backyard. And I'm like, Anthony, just dance in front of the green screen. He's like, why? I'm like, oh, this guy wants us to. and then he turned it in, and then Sainot worked his magic and turned it into that, and we were in the music video, and it was amazing. It's one of the best. That is like one of the single best things that's happened to me, like since I connected with everyone in the Amiga community. It's awesome. I'm gonna keep playing. All right, Amiga. Let's see, Amiga and guests. There we go. So I know you guys. I really appreciate like all of the insightful comments and answers you guys have given. Oh, that's right. We were gonna show the ham screen because I never actually showed the opening of the game.
Very important.
Let's do that.
By the way, there are two different versions. The download version has a different intro screen to the CD-ROM version.
Oh, interesting.
So I think you have the download version, right?
I have the download version. Yeah.
Mm.
Spiel Schreiber is your company, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's German for. What do you think? What does it mean to you? Does it mean to you anything?
I'm looking at the opening right now. You know what I should do? Off the top, let me answer your question. Off the top of my head, no. I think of Liev Schreiber. He's a famous actor here in the United States. So when I see Schreiber, I think of Liev Schreiber, the actor. That's because it's the same spelling. I know that's not what you intended, but that's just me.
Do you know what Spiel means?
No. I know the word like Glockenspiel.
Okay, it's game. It's basically the German word for game.
I should know that.
And yeah, game. And Schreiber means creator. So it's like a game creator. And you know, the thing is that I'm also a journalist. I'm working. I'm also earning money. Reshoot-R is my hobby, and earning money is something which well, I'm working as a games journalist, or I used to work as a games journalist, and so Spieleschreiber basically means doing something with games, so creating games,
Game
creating
creator.
text about games, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for the translation. I'm gonna keep playing. Do you guys? I know you guys have talked about a lot. Do you have anything that like I haven't asked you, or you wanna add? Oh, someone asked a question before, and I just remembered now. I'm a bad host. They were asking Kevin about the graphics and about the how you molded the asteroids and how you molded the large asteroid.
Those asteroids were created in Lightwave, and I should post some of the raw images so you get a sense of what they look like when they're rendered 24-bit. So there's a texture map on those asteroids. You know, we've just made a fairly low polygon graphic, and I'm trying to think how many frames there are. I can't particularly think of how many frames, but there's not too many frames. There's probably 8 or 16 frames or something like that.
I think it's 16. We have a few animations which are 32, but most animation frames are 16.
Yeah.
So
And,
each turn is basically 16 frames of animation, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Which is, by the way, which is a whole lot. I mean, the big asteroid we've seen a couple of times is I think like 80 pixels wide and like 64 pixels high, and so that's a lot of memory being taken up by just that one asteroid. Multiplying that by 16 for 16 frames means that you have to use like a lot of memory just for storing the asteroid in the memory of the Amiga, which is something which is only possible on an EGA machine, because EGA Amigas have like 2 megabytes of chip memory, whereas ECS machines usually have a 512K or maybe 1 megabyte. And so the whole animation thing, Kevin did a lot of animations, and in order to put all these animations into the game and to draw them on screen, you have to use a lot of memory, a big portion of the memory just for storing the animation frames. And this is something which is only possible in EGA, because I could imagine that some people might wonder why this game is not going to be released on ECS machines. Well, that's one of the reasons. The reason is the quality of Kevin's animations, also the quality of Martin's music. As you mentioned earlier, the music alone takes up like 280 kilobytes or something, and that's only after we compressed and compressed and compressed. So the first version was a little bit larger, and if imagine to put that onto an ECS machine, it just is not possible, not in that quality. I mean, you can use a comparable music, but it would be sound a little bit scratchy, and then would be take up only 100 kilobytes, and you could switch from 16 frames of animation to 8 frames of animation with Kevin's graphics. But each and every step means a loss of quality, and also you could not do a second effects layer like the fog you see on the first level of Reshoot-R. And that's the reason why the whole game is being developed with EGA in mind, and also only EGA in mind. There will not be an ECS version. We developed with EGA as a target platform.
It was EGA from the beginning, and you guys got it to run on stock 1200 and CD32. So that's a pretty good goal.
Yeah.
Especially with this quality, like you said, you had to compress the music, but I don't notice any compression. Like, it sounds so good.
Yeah.
So you guys squeezed it all in, but you were able to keep the quality. Yeah, guys, if you have more questions, please fire away. Razor XG, my man, is asking, are there any problems if you try and run it on UAE?
Well, what I learned while developing the game is that I mean, it's not. You can run the game on any emulator, and it will run perfectly fine as long as the emulator is running on a good machine, on a fast machine. Because I noticed on my MacBook, for example, that FSUAA already has problems keeping the frame rate up on the stage 3 and 4, which have a lot of effects going on, and the emulation takes up too much processing power in order to draw each and every frame. So the frame rate drops from 50 to, I don't know, probably 20 or something, which is not going to happen on the Amiga. This is only happening in the emulation because of the lack of CPU power in my MacBook. And therefore I recommend playing the game on a real Amiga, and it can be a CD32. That's pretty sufficient. I recommend 2 megabytes of fast RAM, but that's basically all you need. I mean, you can have an accelerator, you can have a 030 or 040 or 060 CPU in your Amiga. It should not really, well, doesn't really make the game any smoother or faster. Just makes up. There are some situations where the frame rate drops a little bit. For example, when a lot of asteroids come on screen and drop and then they explode. But I've developed the game in such a way that even in such chaotic situations, the frame rate drops in such a way that you will usually not notice, because the scrolling keeps its pace, the player ship keeps its pace, all the projectiles, they all keep the pace of 50 Hertz. So the only thing which drops down is the frame rate of drawing the objects. And so this happens very seldom, and you will almost not notice. But with a 060 CPU, even these frame rate drops will not happen anymore. So, but this is the way I recommend playing game. EGA machine, 2 megabytes of fast RAM, that's the best you need.
Yeah, and I have to say, as you know, I know a lot of us play with LCD screens or LED screens, flat panels these days. But I over the weekend, I had the pleasure of playing it on my 1084 CRT, and it looked and just played awesome. It was amazing. It almost feels like, Kevin, you almost like designed the graphics for a CRT because they just look so beautiful and perfect on the CRT. I just love the way it looks. We got a lot more questions. P for pause. Let's see. DJ Billy Ness wants to know if it runs on a PlayStation Vita.
What?
Yeah, I don't. Maybe in emulation mode. I'm not sure. Coppercraft is saying, does it use a 256 color palette?
No. As mentioned earlier, the different layers each use like 16 colors or something, and but it uses a true color palette. EGA machine uses colors which are made up from a palette of 16 million colors basically, and this color depth is used in the game. So that's why in stage 3 and stage 4 you have a very smooth gradient from light blue to a little bit darker blue, which would not be possible on an ECS machine because you would see the different colors switching from light blue to a middle level blue and a dark blue. Whereas on an EGA machine, you can have the color depth of the EGA machine allows to do a really smooth color gradient, and the same is true for stage 4. The mixing of we do not really use 256 colors. We do use dual playfield mode and kind of an alternative dual playfield mode. I will not get into detail how that works for stage 3, but it's the amount of colors is like 400 colors maximum. Yeah.
Pause. Awesome. Let me see. I would love to talk more and ask more follow-up questions, but I want to get to everyone's question. Mr. Cole is asking, that's a good question. Will the music, I know there's a music CD available, but are the mod files going to be available anywhere, Martin?
Well, no, they aren't, because I actually reuse them only in the game, and I use them for my Amiga DJ sets when I play with the Amigas. So if someone wants to take a look on them, they can do it when I play live.
Excellent. That's so cool that you do. That's so cool.
Actually, you can check. You can buy the music on Bandcamp too.
Oh, is that right?
You can buy. Yeah. You can buy the music on Bandcamp, and you can buy or listen to each track separately. So if you don't want to purchase the whole CD, audio CD, you can also just listen to 1 or 2 tracks on Bandcamp if you're fine with that.
Oh, I'll have to search.
But
If you guys
still not the mod file, but you can listen to the music.
If you guys want to throw the link in the chat, I'm actually interested in buying that myself. That'd be cool. I'd love to have a digital copy on Bandcamp because I have the Bandcamp app and I can just listen right there in the app. That'd be rad. But it's fun. DJ Billy's Nest question kind of leads me to something interesting though. I know he asked about the Vita, but just thinking ahead, you guys could potentially, with a game of this quality, like we were talking about before, like this game would be great even on a PC. You know what I mean? So maybe sometime in the future, you guys could think about like porting it to like a Switch. This would be a great Nintendo Switch game, Seriously, like I know it's an Amiga game, but it's such a good game that it could, that could open you guys up to a lot more sales. Getting it on the Switch or like a Steam sale or something like that. That could be really cool. I know you probably don't have any plans, but it's just an idea for like future thoughts in your brains.
Actually, it's already happened. I have converted the game to run on the alternative Amiga operating system called AROS or AROS or whatever, and the reason for this is that you can bundle an emulator with that version of Reshoot-R, and you can distribute it. You could not do that with an emulator using the Amiga OS ROMs because they are copyrighted, but the AROS ROMs are not of course there's some copyright thing, but you are allowed to distribute these. So the idea is sometime in the future I might bundle Reshoot-R with an emulator and the AROS ROMs, and distribute so this as a kind of a standalone package which can be played on a Windows platform or on the Macintosh platform. So that's already going to happen. And well, it's very kind of you to say that this game would be nice to play on the Switch console, but really, the Switch console there are so many so great shoot 'em ups appearing on the Switch right now. For example, my beloved Ikaruga is playable on the Switch. Also, The Last Resort, which is one of the greatest shoot 'em ups of all time, and it's a Neo Geo shoot 'em up converted to the Switch. For those guys who never heard that name, and I don't know if you can play like Last Resort on the Switch, or you can play like, well, one of Ikaruga, whatever, on the Switch. Well, I don't know if people would want to play Reshoot-R. But yes, I mean, you're right. The target, one of the main target was to develop a good and a playable shoot 'em up. Not a good and playable Amiga shoot 'em up, but a good and playable shoot 'em up. No matter what platform. I just wanted to have one on the Amiga because Amiga is the machine of my heart. You know, I just love that machine, and I wanted to show that it's possible to have a real great shoot 'em up in 2019 on the Amiga, and that was. I'm really excited that you guys seem to think that we well achieved what we planned, and yes, but. Maybe the game will find its way to other platforms too. We will see.
Very, very cool. Yo, my chicken not raw. You gotta cook your chicken. Thank you for the sub, dude. I appreciate that. It's so funny. Some of the names that people and handles that people come up with are super creative.
Kevin, look behind you. Kevin, look behind you.
Oh, who's that? There he is. There he is. Rise and shine.
Hey, my son Jack.
What's up, Jack?
Let me show you the photo.
Hi, Jack.
I've got too many screens open.
Great to see you, Jack. Good morning.
We didn't know where we are, do we? Look, who's that?
Jack, you're being broadcast around the world right now. Hello from New York. What's up, Jack?
Hello from Landsberg, Germany.
You good?
What's up, Jack? Jack, are you super excited about your dad's game? It's so much fun to play, and your dad did amazing work with the graphics. It's so beautiful. You should be really proud of your dad.
Yeah, Jack.
Yeah,
Jack. Your father did a really great game. He developed the graphics for a game called Reshoot-R, and I think you already played it, right? You've already played through stage 1, right? Stage 1. Yeah.
There we go. I've turned the speaker on. I can actually hear you now. There we go. That's better. Sorry, did you ask me a question?
No, we're asking Jack if he's played the game, and he should be really proud of his dad because the game's awesome and the graphics are incredible.
Yeah.
He has played it, haven't you? Yep.
Yeah.
We got a photo of the testing. He's been testing. We'll be playing it more when Mum's at work. Hey.
So what's the best score, Jack, you already achieved?
Still practicing.
Okay.
Jack, what's Jack's favorite computer? Do you have a favorite computer or favorite game?
Oh, he does have a few favorite games. What's your favorite game? Go and say it. What is it?
Minecraft.
Oh, Minecraft. That's great. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. What do you, are you happy now that your dad's done with the game? You guys gonna hang out together, maybe play the game a little bit together?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you paint as well? Do you do art?
Yeah.
A little bit.
A little art?
Yeah.
Nice.
We'll do. Yeah.
Nice. Are you into art and video games? Or you have some other stuff?
Some other stuff.
Yeah, if I lived in Brisbane, I think I'd be into surfing, personally. You guys got Surfer's Paradise there. I've been to Brisbane and I've been to Surfer's Paradise. It's amazing. Australia's like got amazing outdoor sports. I'd be mountain biking and surfing every day.
Good fun, hey? We're going to get Jack to school soon, so we got to get changed, hey? Get all sorted. live on the stream.
It's at 8:15.
Yes, that's right.
It's not even.
Oh, I know, we're going to have breakfast. Here we go.
Okay.
Go for it. Kev, if you need to go take care of that, you're welcome to. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, I might come. I'll come back in a little while if you're still on the stream. But yeah, it's been awesome hanging out with Richard, Martin, and yourself. And
Kevin, it was great having you here. That's really nice.
Yeah, Kev, thanks so much for getting up
Awesome.
early. Guys, Kevin is in Brisbane, Australia, and he had to get up before 5 o'clock a.m. to jump on the stream.
Yeah.
So that's huge kudos to you. Kudos to you, Kevin. And dude, your artwork is amazing. It's absolutely gorgeous. You know, for me, I'm an artist as well. That's what I do for a living. So games for me, of course, they have to be playable, but I'm also a sucker for good-looking graphics. And if the game looks good, it makes me happy and inspires me as well. And this game looks amazing. All your artwork is incredible. Stuff you post in my Discord is amazing. And you know, we're all super lucky to have you contribute to this game and the Amiga community. So thank you so much, Kev.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I've always been a big fan. Thank you of the Amiga, and that's why I loved it when Richard wanted to produce the game on the Amiga. And I always like to think we can produce games on the Amiga first before other platforms. I remember, you know, looking through magazines many years ago. You go Amiga coming soon, and it's on other platforms first, and you go that got quite annoying actually. And so I have that inbuilt DNA where I'd love to have games on the Amiga first, then branch out to other platforms. So. Yeah, big fan of Amiga, of course.
When I first learned about Amiga, you know, I had a Commodore 64 and an Atari 800, and my dad would buy me the games, and I'd always look on the back of the game box, and it would show like screenshots from all the different versions, and I would always see the Amiga version. I'm like, oh man, I want the Amiga so bad because the graphics just look so good. And it was like the holy grail. And then I bet the 1000 was expensive, and then when the 500 came out, my dad's like, oh, I think we can afford this, man. I'm gonna get you a 500, and I was super lucky guy that he supported me like that. And yeah, I'm with you. The Amiga has just been a huge part of my life too. And I mean, I love Amiga, but at the bottom, you know, at the end of the day, like doing these streams and going to all these Amiga events, it's for me, it's all about like hanging out with awesome people like you and all the awesome people who are in chat. Like the Amiga is amazing, I love it, but it's the Amiga community and the people that come with it that I like the most. That's what keeps my fuel burning, you know.
Exactly. Kevin, before you leave the chat, I just want to add something which Kevin did. I mean, when I started to work on Reshoot-R, I had the idea of working with high school students to do some pixels, and I talked to a couple of guys and asked them if they wanted to deliver like a spaceship or some animations or whatever, and I got some artworks from them, and one of just an example of the main chip was I got a true color 4K screenshot of a really nice spaceship, and then I asked the guy, okay, so this is a real nice spaceship. I can put it onto my desktop and watch it, but I cannot animate it. I cannot put it onto the Amiga. It's just too big. It's not animated, nothing like that. And this guy, he just could not, you know, he just could not get what I mean. He just could not. Because he did not understand that he can only use 16 colors and that he has to shrink the whole thing, and that he has to design it in a way that it also looks good if it's a tiny sprite and not a full screen object, you know. And Kevin was able to do that. I mean, he's the only one who was able to do it, because I really tried. I really talked to a lot of people, just because I wanted to see what happens if I talk to people. That's what I'm doing all the time. And Kevin is the only one who delivers. He delivers art which is usable, and he just delivers. I mean, a lot of people do talk and talk and talk, and they tell you, okay, I will do that, I will do that, and they promise, but a lot of people do not really keep their promises. You know, they when it really comes to having a discussion about how a sprite has to look like, having to rework it because it needs to have less colors, or has to have only 3 colors instead of 4 or something like that, just tiny detail work. A lot of people lose interest, whereas Kevin understands that this has to happen. He has to work on it so that in the end we have a real good looking game. And Kevin, he worked with me for 4 years now, and he always delivers, and he always delivers great work which I can actually use, and that's something which I cannot really thank you enough, Kevin, for being such a great partner, such a great guy, and without you, Reshoot-R just would not have happened. It's as simple as that. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's all. That's really well said. Richard. That's Kevin. That's amazing. It's so true too. That's a special skill, not just being able to create the artwork, but being able to create it within limitations. You know, that's today we take it for granted that we have these super powerful computers, or like I do photography and cinematography for a living, and like we have like 8K cameras and 4K cameras, and you can make almost anything look good. But try doing that with like an old school camera. You know, which is one of the things that interests me about working in the Amiga. Like it's like trying to make things happen within the limitations of it. To me, that's like the ultimate creativity. You know, like if you have boundaries, when there's no boundaries, is one thing, but being able to work with boundaries is also extremely exciting and takes a very, very specific skill. So Kev, amazing.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you very much.
And you didn't compromise.
That,
like it looks amazing. Like there was, even though you got it to work on the Amiga, like there's no compromise. It looks incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I should go though. I should cut myself off the stream. I'm looking at the time now. Need to drive in about 10 minutes. So.
Okay. So Kev, see you. Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Thanks very
Later,
much.
Kev.
I'll watch the stream later.
Right on. Thanks, Kev. So, guys, there's a couple of Jamie Morgan Just Games, who's a very, very talented gamer and streamer as well, has a great question, and someone else asked a very similar one. Walker GR asked a very similar question. What games do you guys admire? And did you guys pull inspiration from other games when you guys were making Reshoot-R? I think Richard Martin, you want to take that one? Are there any like Amiga musicians, Chris Helsbeck, who may have inspired you for the music? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but yeah, go for it.
It has to be Chris Hülsbeck, no matter what. So I really admire his music. I love to play Apedia back then, Turrican 2, and things like that. And yeah. And yeah, I also played a lot of these Lotus things. So, well, it's I don't know who made the music. I will have to Google it up. Lotus 2 music. We'll see. But these are the main inspirations, and so. But actually, a lot of music inspiration which I gather here is from the music I DJ with. No, it's a lot of trance music here, which is not that popular here in Europe, but you know.
I love trance music too. I mean, when Armand van Buuren and those guys are incredible.
Yeah. Finally, I had the luck that one track of mine was played by in his show too, 2 months ago or 3.
And Armin van Buuren's?
Yeah.
Oh
in the State
wow,
of Trance,
dude, that's amazing! State of Trance is incredible. That's like the premier trance show in the world. Congratulations, that's so cool.
So.
Congratulations, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Let's see, what other question? I know I probably missed a question or two here. I'm just scrolling back. Thanks everyone for hanging out today, by the way. Like I said to you guys before, I don't know if you've seen my streams in the past, but I'm so lucky. I get like the most amazing people hanging out in my chat. A lot of game creators are here, a lot of artists are here, amazing gamers are here, great members of the Amiga community. I do these streams, I always say it, I'm like a broken record, but I really do these streams just to hang out with my friends. So like everyone who's in chat is like my friend, and it's great to see them every week, and I have a blast catching up with everybody. And it's kind of like, it's like the Westchester Amiga user group virtually online. When we can't meet in person, we can meet here online. So I thank everyone for hanging out today and asking like really, really cool questions, and really supporting the guys and buying their game and saying all like the awesome stuff about the game that it is. Johnny says congratulations to the team. Fishbot, great vibes. Fishbot's always got the great vibes. Jamie says that the game looks amazing. Yeah, I mean, super lots of hype for you guys. This game rocks. I'm super excited, and as you can see, I'm not very good at it, so I want to see if I can get to level 3. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but so there's one, the trick for me in this game, like you really need those power-ups. A, because it's like getting extra lives, and B, like for example, in that first wave of asteroids, the asteroids that pile up, there's that one enemy that's kind of down at the bottom of the screen, and I feel like I can only hit him if I have the weapon power up that allows me to shoot in 3 directions. So I just
Exactly.
I purposely wiped on the last round because I didn't have that power up, and I was just like, nah, I'm done. I'm like, I'm not
So
even.
yeah, but that's exactly. I mean, this enemy you see down there is he's placed there exactly for this purpose. You have to practice in such a way that you reach that moment with the level 3 power up. You know, so that you can have a diagonal shoot. I mean, you can survive without that. It's possible, but it's very hard. It's a lot easier if you learn to reach that moment in stage 1. With power-ups sufficient enough to have 3 hits on this enemy at the bottom, and you also have to learn that this enemy has a hitbox. You know, the first time you play the game, or maybe the second time, you will think, hey, I cannot really kill that enemy because it doesn't react. It seems not to react, and then you play for a couple of times, and then you notice, hey, there's one hitbox which actually where you can hit this kind of snake-like thing, and that's the thing of that's the learning curve I try to implement into the game. So each and every object in the game can be killed. It just takes a little bit of a learning curve, so you know how to do it and why it makes sense to do it.
That's interesting. I can kind of feel that in the game design. When I saw that guy, I was like, you know what, I could probably survive this asteroid belt, but like, it's gonna be almost impossible for my skills unless I take that dude out. So he's got to go.
Yeah.
So
Speak to you again in 1 week. In 1 week you would fly through stage 0 or on. So very easy for you in 1 week, and in 2 weeks you will have played through the game, because that's how I try to establish the learning curve.
It'll be interesting to see. I want to test that out because my gaming skills are just average. Like I'm an average gamer. I know I do these streams, but I'm just an average gamer. Like I'm not terrible at games, but I'm really not that good at them either. I just think they're fun, and to be honest, playing it on stream is challenging too. I give these guys who can play games really well on stream and talk to the chat at the same time a lot of credit, because it ain't easy. Let me tell you.
No. I could not do that.
The Captain John Archer, original captain of the Starship Enterprise and moderator of my Discord channel and Twitch channel, and gentleman who will see you guys at Amiga 34 in Germany, is asking what your day jobs are, or if this is your day job.
Well, it used to be working as a games journalist until maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Then I worked as a media producer, which means I'm developing magazines and putting all the puzzle pieces together in order to have a magazine in the end. So that was my main job. Actually, with Reshoot-R, I want to see if it's possible to generate an income which is sufficient to survive with a family. So that's I just want to see this year if it's possible, and if it's possible, maybe this is my new job, developing games for retro-based platforms.
That'd be awesome. We'd love to have you, Richard. It's interesting because I think 7-10 years ago, I don't think that you could even entertain that thought. I think there's just been like a whole renewed interest in retro, a renewed interest in Amiga, and it's like
Exactly.
It's hot right now. It is really hot, but I always talk about like 2000 to 2010 being like the dark ages of Amiga. Like we would have like 4 guys show up at our WOG meetings. We never stopped meeting, but there'd just be like 4 of us. And now we have like 30 active members. It's just been, and that's just the trend like all over the world. Like retro is big, and you can see even like on Steam, a lot of the games that are coming out, even like the really popular ones, are simplified, 8 and 16-bit style games, even though they have super powerful PCs they can run them on.
You can actually see that at the Gamescom show in Cologne, which is I think the world's biggest entertainment show for video and computer games. They have one of the main stages there is devoted just to retro gaming, and if you visited this booth like 10 years ago, it would be very tiny and almost no people would have been there. Whereas the last 2 or 3 years, it's you see the whole thing growing and growing and growing. So you have like the big booths of Electronic Arts and Ubisoft and Activision, how they are all called. But the retro thing is growing all the time, and a lot of people are visiting it right now. So you can actually just feel that it's growing and the interest is growing. And in Germany, we had an official press statement from the it's called the Bundesverband Game, which is like the spokesperson of the whole games industry in Germany, and they did a press release saying that about retro gaming actually. So it's not about how to have the most income from whatever kind of type of games, but the press release was about retro gaming, and it said that every second games player right now is interested in purchasing or playing on a retro platform. So that's just great to know. And I myself, I also noticed that when I showed the game at various events at the Gamescom show, for example, but also on some other community happenings, and some of these are kind of open platforms for everyone from the whole city could come in and just play games. And so they were not closed events for just retro interested people, but also for all people from the city. And I had a very interesting experience a couple of months ago in October of last year, where a 12-year-old guy came in, and he had a look at Reshoot-R, and he took the controller and played, and I watched him like I watch all the people play the game and try to learn what from what they do. So he played, and he played like 40 minutes or 45 minutes or something like that. That's a 12-year-old a kid which has grown up with the PlayStation 3 and 4. He's playing on the PC, and when his mother came in and took him away from Reshoot-R, he told me that Reshoot was almost as addictive as Fortnite. You know?
Oh wow!
Yeah, and I think if a 12-year-old tells you that, it's just great. It's just great that your game is kind of addictive, and it's almost as addictive to this 12-year-old as his favorite game, Fortnite. So that means that good gameplay is not dependent on the platform. It's dependent on the gameplay.
That's very true. It also means your game is great, because I don't think a 12-year-old will pull any punches. If he didn't mean it, he wouldn't have said that, and he wouldn't have stood there for 40 minutes. It's also interesting, someone growing up like with a PlayStation controller using a joystick. I've seen when I do things at like vintage computer festivals and I have an Amiga set up, like some of the kids show up and they don't even know what to do with a joystick. They're just so used to like a PlayStation controller or an Xbox controller.
But I actually had a CD32 controller attached, so it was not the biggest was the difference was not too big.
Oh, there you go. That's cool.
Yeah.
Saynot. Martin, Saynot's here. Saynot, my man, what's up? I was telling Martin that you made me. You're Amiga Bill's daddy. You made the amazing animation, and I didn't realize that Martin did the music for the music video and my dance. Yes, Saynot, once a mod, always a mod. I would never demod you, my man. Come on now. I hope I can get to Amiga 34. I see lots of people in chat who are planning on going out to Amiga 34. I think Saynot is planning on going. I'm gonna see if I can make it happen, guys. It's hard for me because it's far, and I travel a lot for work. So when I'm not traveling for work, it's kind of nice to be home.
You travel to Germany?
I've been to Germany for work. I did Volkswagen commercials. I went to like
Really?
I went to like Hockenheim racetrack, and so I've been to Germany, and my wife is from Poland, so we go visit her family in eastern Poland, right near the Ukraine border, and that's why I go to the Polish show, the Polish party, Ami Party, because it's very close to her town. So that was easy for me to get to. It was killing two birds with one stone. My wife was like, "Why do you want to go see my family so badly?" Little did you know, an alternative motive, Ami Party. But I would love to get to Amiga 34. It's amazing.
Yeah, invite your wife to Poland in October.
It's very close. It's very close. It'd be pretty easy.
Kind of, yeah. Kind of close, yeah.
Close enough.
You guys from the United States, I mean, you're used to traveling a lot of miles, and you just say it's close. Whereas for me, living in Germany, like traveling 600 or 700 kilometers is a lot of lot of distance, you know. But you as people, for you, it's almost nothing, right?
For my last job 2 weeks ago, I had to go to Los Angeles, you know, which is like the hub of film production here in the States, and it took me. The flight was 6.5 hours from New York. It's insane.
Yeah.
Like I could be places in Europe in 6.5 hours. I could be in Iceland, you know. And I'm going there next week too, so it's gonna be another long flight. So for us, the country's so big, everything's spread out. It takes a long time to travel. I feel like I want to also just like turn up the music too. Like I know I've been playing Martin's music in the background all stream, but I've been suppressing it so we could hear everyone chat. Maybe I should just turn it up.
Yeah.
Pause. I'm gonna turn off the music for a second. There we go. May as well too loud.
It's just an amazing feeling hearing this music. It's just so great.
I don't know if you guys can hear it over the mix because I turned up the music, but Captain John is asking what Martin's day job is.
Max.
Pardon? My what?
Your job, for work.
Max.
Oh.
Max.
Well, originally I'm a computer scientist. That's just with a diploma, but after some years of working with search engines and doing websites, I finally decided to be an undertaker.
So you're an undertaker.
Why not?
Yeah. So I decided to move on from computers to dead people.
Oh wow, that I wasn't expecting that one, but that's awesome. That's incredible. I gotta be honest, I was not expecting that answer.
And actually, to be fair, while having this job, I had enough time to work on the music on daytime. So I had the Pro Tracker for Windows on my Office PC, so I could work in my spare time there on the mod files.
Awesome. Yo, Amiga Love. Hold on. AmigaLove.com's got a good idea. He said I should play the Bandcamp soundtrack while I play the game. I could do that. I could do that. Let's see. Do you guys have the link to it? I can do a search. Bandcamp.
Richard should get the link.
Is it whose account is it under?
It's my account, and you can just search for Reshoot-R.
Oh, there it is. Perfect. I'm gonna. All right, cool. I'm gonna play this, guys. I it's been like 3 hours and I haven't gone to the bathroom. I have to. I need to use the bathroom really quick. So I can put you guys full screen, and if anyone in chat has any questions, you can ask the guys. I don't know if they're seeing chat or not. I just need to step away for a minute to use the boys' room.
Okay.
Yeah, awesome.
Have fun.
Yeah, I see. Walker's got a question. Maybe you can answer while I'm going to the bathroom. He said, "Did Richard think to use the music playing like on the audio CD, like if if it's playing off an audio track for the CD 32?"
Mm-hmm. No, it's actually not. For a couple of reasons. First of all, it's slowing down loading times. You know, a game sometimes loads. While, for example, when switching from the title screen to the game scene, and also sometimes within the game scene. And if you had a music track playing while the game plays, it would mean that you would have to cut the music off and load stuff into the memory and then switch the music back on, which is kind of slow and also interrupts the whole experience, the whole flow of the gameplay. I just didn't feel that it was necessary because we used a near CD quality kind of samples. As Martin already mentioned, it's 22 kilohertz of sample quality, which is really good. You will almost not notice that it's not coming from CD, and So there's no reason to play the whole music from CD. Also, a download version just would not be possible with CD audio, and or would have to be totally different from the CD version, and that's these are the main reasons why I decided against CD audio. I also feel that in order to have a kind of Amiga-esque feel, a vibe to the music, it needs to come from the built-in Paula sound chip. It just, a couple of games used audio CD. For example, the few of Core Design's games, like I think Banshee used it or Skeleton Crew, they used CD audio, and I always felt like, okay, the music is good, but it just somehow feels disconnected from the gameplay. And I wanted to have the music and the game totally connected. You will probably not really notice at first when you play the game for the first or for the second time, but sometimes some things, some animations are synchronized to the music. For example, the way the player ship moves, and also some of the enemies' animations are synchronized to the music. And this is a very tiny and very subtle detail, which is only possible if you use the built-in Paula sound chip, and would just not be possible with CD audio. So yeah, Paula power.
That's a really good point, Richard. And Paul, I gotta say, I used to play music from the internet on my streams a lot, and now everyone's like, no, you gotta play it from the real Amiga, and it's true. It just there's something special about that Paula chip. It just sounds special, especially with the mod files. I'm sure you Martin would agree. If you guys haven't seen, we did an interview, my buddy Anthony and I, with Glenn Keller, the gentleman who designed the Paula chip, and that was an honor to meet him. He's such a gentleman and super nice guy. That was super cool. But yeah, so like I know the SID is a synthesized chip, and a lot of people love the sound of the SID, and so do I. The SID chip on the Commodore 64 is amazing. But is there anything unique about the Paula chip, Martin, being a musician, that makes the Paula chip special?
Well, for me, working as a DJ too in real life, then it's the thing. If you just replay music from CD, it's just music. It's okay. But if I play with my Amigas live and I play the mod files, then the sound comes directly from the Paula chip to the mixer. The Paula chip has some. I don't know how to explain, but the sound is rough and dirty and powerful. It's not just playing back music like high quality CD music. It's rough, pure music, and that's Paula for me. And actually, a lot of old school R&B, hip hop instruments like the Akai CPC sampler, they always work with not 16-bit but 12-bit. So the sound actually is also rough and dirty. And I think this is the advantage of the Paula chip for me, because the music is more direct. I don't more vivid.
It makes sense. It's got personality to it. It's kind of like we were talking about before with working with in the limitations of the graphics. Like everything these days is so perfect and so crisp and so clear. Like anything is possible. But when you work with these limitations, you get these specific characteristics that are unique to the Amiga and kind of make the artwork itself unique.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
My friend,
it's about character, really. I mean, you want to know that you're playing on an Amiga. You want to listen to it, and you want to really. I mean, I want to hear. If I play on Mega Drive, I want to hear Mega Drive music. If I play on Amiga, I want to hear Amiga music. I would just want to listen to it. If I listen to it, I want to know which platform this game is running on. And if I can. Same with Super Nintendo. I can clearly hear the difference between these platforms, and that's one of the things which actually defines the platform. And the same with musicians. I mean, no one would buy a U2 album if it would sound like a Madonna album. It's because you buy these albums because they sound like U2. And they have their special, the singer has his own voice, his own characteristics, and the same is true for Amiga music, I think, and that's what we try to what Martin achieved with the Reshoot-R music, and yeah, I mean, on the soundtrack, there's one mix on it which sounds more like a Commodore 64 SID tune.
It is.
I,
It actually is a
uh,
city.
oh yes, it actually is, right? Yeah, he really converted it to the Commodore and then replayed it
It's
to
Sigma
so we
7
could.
who really made a SID tune for us.
Can you imagine the amount of work which is just on this one soundtrack? You know, one guy really decomposing Martin's work, putting it all onto the SID chip of the Commodore 64, and then we rearranged it in order we could put it onto the soundtrack. And this is just one track on the soundtrack CD-ROM, which is a very tiny thing in the whole Reshoot-R universe. So there's so much work. I mean, if you think about it, it's really, it's just the community experience is really great. Yeah.
That's amazing. It's always converted to Commodore 64 then back to Amiga. So guys, I'm on the Bandcamp website right now. So they can buy the actual physical CD from Amiga, the same Amiga shop where they can buy the game. Is that the physical copy of the game and the digital copy of the game, right?
Yeah, I think on the Bandcamp side you can buy the audio CD only, and you can.
Too, yeah.
Yeah, but I would probably, I don't know, you can buy it here or there. It doesn't make a difference. It's personally, I would always suggest to buy the signature edition because it contains the audio soundtrack CD already. So that's probably the best bet. By the way, you would have to think about if someone purchases the signature edition, if you should get digital editions of the soundtrack too, because that's. No one asked the questions, and I just thought about that. Maybe it makes sense to provide these too if you buy the signature edition.
Oh, sorry. What was that, Richard? Because a lot of people were asking before about the if they get the digital edition as well when they purchase the physical copy
of the game, right? But I only thought about the game. But as the signature edition also contains the soundtrack, it makes sense to provide people who buy the signature edition also the digital edition of the soundtrack.
Oh, right. That makes sense. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just I'm gonna try to pull up the soundtrack here, but I want to be able to mix it as well. So I'm gonna pull it up in Google Chrome so I think I can mix this audio this way. Let's see. Can I do this? Come on, baby. Come on, Windows. It's so weird. It's maybe because I have to start it. Let's see. It sounds amazing, but I need to be able to control the volume here without messing up you guys. There we go. I think that sounds about right. So guys, I'm gonna play. I'm just going my levels there. I'm gonna play the soundtrack while I play the game. It sounds amazing.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm cutting a little promotion video for the soundtrack, and we added some in-game footage from Richard with the music, and it's actually amazing because the game speeds a little bit up then with the remixes.
Oh wow, that's incredible. But Martin, your music is phenomenal, dude. I absolutely love it. I hope you can come DJ in New York one day. My friend Akira, Amiga DJ, who's in the chat, he's one of the guys behind the I forgot the number, the PT something software that lets you put the two Amigas together and DJ. So you might use that software yourself.
I use the software. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So of whom we are talking about? Is this Hoffman or?
Oh, he's working with Hoffman.
Ah, okay.
And he's in New York too.
Well,
and
actually, a nice story. When I DJ'd at Revision last year, actually we were partying hard after the Amiga demos, and I think Maya and I were DJing, and I looked up and Hoffman was standing there with the beer in his hand and looking at our setup and said, well, I did the software, yeah, but I never saw it on the real Amiga with real CRT monitors working, because we didn't have these little LCD monitors, we had these big CRT monitors there. And he was really amazed by this.
Oh wow. That's awesome. I can't believe you never saw it with real Amigas and CRTs. I just have to send oh hey, what's up Vicky? Great to see you. I just have to send one text message for my work, sorry. I'm in overtime here with the stream. How about
Give her the best wishes.
Okay, awesome. So now I'm gonna play the game and listen to the soundtrack off of Bandcamp at the same time. Let's see how far I can get here. And then I'll play this for a few more minutes, guys. And then I'll have to wrap up the stream too. I know it's getting late for you guys. It's getting late in Europe, and I have some things I need to work on here. I need to check on my wife, make sure she's all right. It sounds like she's okay, and do some things for work as well. You love the Euro House Fishbot? Me too. I love it too. I love house music. I love deep house music is one of my favorite genres. I love deep house.
Ah, okay.
I listen to a lot of deep house, and I love trance as well. I love. I saw some amazing trance shows. I also worked for Heineken for a while, so I spent better part of a year in Holland, and that is like the home of trance. It's amazing. And you guys in Germany too have amazing stuff.
Yeah, well, we have, but when I DJ'd, back in the days, I went over to Holland because that's just 1.5 hours from here, and I bought a lot of vinyl then back in the days, so for trance vinyls and stuff, and they had the good stuff, not like us here in Germany.
Yeah, they have the cream of the crop there, and the legends like Tiesto and Hardwell and all those guys.
Yeah.
Armin van Buuren, oh my god, the list goes on. Paul van Dyk, he's Dutch too, right? I think so.
No. Oh, but it's a Dutch name, but actually he's German.
Oh, there you go. Awesome. Yeah, Mana the Berserk, absolutely. Mana, if you do !Reshoot-R, !RESHOOTR, it will give you a link to where you can purchase Reshoot-R. Amix 312, my man from Amitopia, he and I have gotten about as far at the same distance in the game, but I guess he's been playing it because now he says get ready for the boss on level 2. So I'm nervous. He's making me nervous.
The boss on level 2 is very special. This is the first one with a real war cry. This is another sound effect. I try to implement different elements in each stage, so that each stage it doesn't only look different, but also feels a little bit different. And that's why in each stage I added some elements which were not to be seen before, and so that's why you get a war cry from the boss in stage 2. Which I was told is actually pretty scary. And this is, for example, this is something which the polar chip enables, which the polar chip is great. Polar chip is playing digital samples very easily, and by manipulating the speed of the samples or how fast it plays the sample, you can get from just one sample in memory. You can get a totally different sound effect. For example, I can play back the explosion sound which Martin did in different speeds, and by the way, the explosion sound. I don't know, Martin, how long we worked on that, because I was so cruel to Martin because I wanted to have the explosion sound because it's so important, it has to be fulfilling when something explodes. It needed to sound very, very special, and one of my favorite sound effects regarding explosions is in Silkworm, which is a favorite arcade game and very great Amiga conversion. And on the Amiga game, when you have that mid-boss helicopter thing and it explodes, it's a very boom thing. And I wanted to have that depth into the explosion sound, and that's why we worked a lot on the explosion. You know, you probably remember a lot of Amiga games in the 80s and 90s. They used the same explosion sound effect. You hear it in like 100 games, and that's one of the goals I have with Reshoot-R. I do not want to use that explosion sound. And I also do not want to use the basic deluxe paint standard font, which is being used in like 1,000 of games, you know. And that's why I teased Martin so many times before we had an explosion sound, which really fits. And now we can play back it because Polar Chip enables me to do it. We can play it back in different speeds and. Depending on the sample rate I choose, I modify when I play back the sound. The explosion sounds totally different, and the war cry you hear from the stage 2 boss is actually a voice sample being played at a very low sample rate. Yeah, and that means you cannot recognize the voice anymore. You just recognize a very grim, deep, alien style thing, which you cannot really. It just sounds like someone is very angry and desperately wants to kill you, and that's something which Paula enables me to do that without, just one byte. I have to just change one byte in memory, and the very nice extra voice from AJ's wife now sounds like a very angry alien wanting to kill you. So that's the power of Paula.
That's amazing. I never thought about using Paula like that. Again, I'm not a designer myself, so it's very cool that Paula allows you to do things like that. And I know what you mean about making the sound of the explosion important, because I'm sure it was the same explosion that they all used, but I remember the first time I picked up Sidewinder on my Amiga 500, the game, like, it was the explosions that really got me.
Yeah, but that very explosion from Sidewinder was reused 100 times later, because Sidewinder was one of the first shoot 'em ups on the Amiga. Was being made by a Mastertronic company called Arcadia for the arcades, and it was one of the first games on the Amiga which used that explosion sound, and it was really great. But if you heard it like for the next 5 years in each and every shoot 'em up, it does not sound that great anymore. And so therefore our goal was to have a sound which just sounds different. It's explosion, yes, but a different explosion. And so again, this is one of the tiny details which made us really, which took a lot of hours to get it just right.
That's awesome. Again, it's all about the details. So it's funny that the escalation I was kind of already wiping at that point, but you have to look out for the escalation, because not only does the game get harder, but you have to be careful because the escalation word can hide your ship.
But usually there's nothing behind it. Well, you just have to keep up or down, and then nothing will happen.
Yeah,
nothing special.
You have to avoid the text. You have to avoid the font, just like an enemy. It's a cloaking, an enemy cloaking device.
Kind of, yeah.
The game is super addictive, guys. I posted the link to where you can buy Reshoot-R in chat. If you missed it, I posted a bunch of times. Just do !RESHOOTR, Reshoot-R. In the chat, and it'll give you a link to the store where you can buy the game, all the digital edition, both physical editions, as well as the amazing soundtrack that we're listening to now. I hope the mix is okay. I potted the music down just a little bit because you were saying some good stuff, and I didn't want it to interfere with your voice. Let's see. We'll see if I can get. I'll do a couple more runs, and we'll see how far I get, and then I'll have to call the stream too, guys. I know it's really late in Germany, and I need to tend to some business as well. So I really appreciate you guys coming on today. The game, congratulations on the game, guys. It's it's amazing. It's my kind of game. The replayability is incredible, and it's the kind of game I can just like pick up and play without having to get like too deep into it. You know, it's just a super fun shooter game. One of my favorite game companies is called Housemarque, and their first game was Super Stardust, right, on the Amiga. But they've when they moved over to PC, they've made some of my favorite PC arcade games like Nex Machina, and the one that's like the one that's kind of like a mix of Choplifter and Defender. I can't remember the name of it right now. It's killing me. But Housemarque's incredible, and this reminds me of like a Housemarque quality game, and those guys are amazing. So that's a big compliment. It's incredible. Resogun, there you go. Thank you, Fishbot. Resogun.
But you know what? Housemarque is a favorite of mine too. Actually, I play the games on the PlayStation. They did a couple of games on the PlayStation recently, the past 3 or 4 years, and one of them is called.
There's Nex Machina.
Resogun.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I played Resogun a lot, and that's the kind of feel I wanted to have for Reshoot-R. You know, it's just fast and arcadey, and it makes you learn the game. And if you keep coming back, you will feel you get better and better and better. The same with Resogun. You just have to learn what these enemies all do, and if you learn it, you will get better and better and better. And finally, you will beat the game. And the same is true with Reshoot-R.
When you were talking before about how there's a lot of stuff in the game that is repetitive, but then there's also some things that are slightly different every time you play, I was thinking about Housemarque's Nex Machina, because that's another game where you try and go for the high score. And I memorized certain patterns in that game, but it's always a little bit dynamic. It's always a little bit different. So you always have like that twist, which keeps you on your toes.
yeah.
All right, so here let's see. And I think another strategy with this game and other shooters, but is I can decide if I want to like play for the high score, you know, or if I just want to see the next level, and I can just like let enemies go by and not bother with them and just try and survive as well. Which that's probably a good technique for me to do now and at the beginning, so I can just experience the whole game. Like, I'm just not worried about my high score to see how far I can get, and then I can focus on the high score once I learn the game more.
Yeah. One thing I also incorporated is in order to, you know, some people just have not much time, and they probably have no time to practice a lot. And so I thought about how could I do something for these people so that they can really beat the game once. And that's why you get continues when you play through stage 2, I think. And you get 3 continues which help you to get farther into stage 3. And if you finally beat the boss in stage 3, there will be a new option in title screen which enables you to go directly from the title screen to stage 3. Yeah. So that means, okay, you will probably not go for the high score in this case, because you're not playing stage 1 and stage 2, but you can practice stage 3 and stage 4 maybe if you get far enough. So that enables you to practice a little bit the later stages. You don't have to play the stages 1 and 2, which you have probably played a lot of times, which you probably feel boring when you play the game for a few weeks. And that's one of the design decisions in order to help you experience the whole game. That's one of the lessons I learned with the first Reshoot game, because it's not a bad game. It's just a little bit hard probably, and I learned that a lot. Almost no one ever experienced the later moments in the game, which are kind of neat, really. There's a real nice boss fight going on at the very end of the game. I don't know if anyone ever experienced it. I just saw one video on YouTube, but I never heard from anyone actually playing through the game, and I found that pretty dissatisfying for myself, because why do I design such an object, such a boss, which takes me a lot of hours and a lot of days even, and then no one really has fun with it. And that's why I really try to balance, to invest a whole lot of time into the balancing of the difficulty curve, but also that's why I implemented this continue option, this level skip option, so that you can really skip stages 1 and 2 and go directly to stage 3. But you have to prove you are worthy skipping stages 1 and 2.
That's an awesome feature, and that's what I was kind of alluding to before at the beginning of the stream. Is I was wondering if there was a way you could put in a code to skip to a level, but that's a really brilliant way to do it, Richard. So like you still have to like earn the ability to to skip ahead to a level. You can't just skip from the beginning. You really have to earn it, and you can't skip until you've gotten to a certain point. That's amazing. So that's really well done. That's a great design choice right there. I love this the fire effect here. It's incredible. The multiple layers of it. It's incredible. How long should it and the other thing I really like that I'm learning as well is like, look, on the end of level 1 there, I lost all my powers to the boss essentially. But because of the power-up system, I knew if I could just stay alive, I could get some more power-ups at the beginning of level 2. So it was it was cool. I knew I was weak, but I didn't want to wipe because I knew I could power up and get back in the game. So it's nice how you can just kind of get shot down, but then you can also recover from that.
Exactly.
Now see, I need to learn the pattern here. I don't know if like going high or low is the better choice. I think I went low because I could see the asteroids, the asteroid pattern better. Oh wow, they're building up. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is so hard. This is about as far as I've gotten in the game, I think. I need some power-ups. As far as the power-ups go, are they pre-planned or do they generate a little bit randomly as well? Because I feel like sometimes after I kill an enemy, I'm just praying. I'm like, please drop a power-up. Like right now, I could really use a speed-up power-up badly. I'm praying that I get one soon.
You will. You will. If you survive, you will.
Oh, Captain John Archer says Amiga's son just woke up and he's getting a little Reshoot-R action in. That's amazing. It's I meant to say that before when Kevin had his son on, but like all guys our age, we're all like middle-aged guys and we love Amiga and middle-aged guys and gals, and we a lot of it is the nostalgia factor, but it's so cool to see like the youth getting interested in Amiga as well. Like we're not going to be around that much longer. I mean, hopefully for a very long time. But I hope. My hope is that like, Amiga doesn't die with us. I hope the next generation can also carry on like the Amiga's legacy. Especially it's harder for them because they don't have the nostalgia factor that we have. So like making an amazing game like this that a 12-year-old kid can come to Gamescom and play and get hooked on it is like I think that's the key to like preserving Amiga as well. You have to get it into the next generation.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to keep up with modern gameplay. I mean, you will not really enthuse the young people with old software looking old. You have to. It's so important that the community develops new stuff, new hardware, new software, new games, which feel modern. And if this happens, I think Amiga will be around in 20 years or 30 years or 40 years. Yeah.
That's the key. You have to get the kids into it. And we have a chance. Like I said, a lot of the new games coming out have retro styles, and retro's hot. So now's the time to get their interest. And look at this, guys. I'm getting this is as far as I've ever gotten, and I've lost all my power-ups, and I'm desperate right now, and I'm nervous. And I'm moving really slow. And I'm praying, Richard, please give me a power up, Richard, please.
I can't. My magic is all into the game now. The way I view the whole retro community right now is I like to compare it to the old timer scene and from the car enthusiasts. I mean, a lot of guys who are into cars, they're interested in old timers too, but it doesn't mean that they just purchase an old car and use it like it is, but they try to to polish it with modern tools, and they work with it with modern tools. So you have got an old timer, but you use modern tools to keep it alive, and the same is true with the Amiga. I mean, you can use it in 20 years, but you will use modern tools in 20 years to keep it alive. And that's the fun of it, Somehow keeping it alive, somehow working with it, having fun with it. But with some modern details, and that's why I think the whole scene is going to stay. It's not like it's happening now and it will not happen. No one is interested in retro in 5 years again. I think it's going to last, and it's going to develop a community which really is built to last, and which really develops new ways of communicating and new ways of using tools, and that's going to be very interesting. And that's the reason why I'm trying this year to why I want to see if it's possible to make a living out of developing retro games, because maybe it is, and if it is, that's it's going to build a new ecosystem of development studios, which is very interesting too. That could happen also, you know, developing studios who are really focusing on retro platforms, because the same is true for the car scene. You know, in the car scene you have suppliers of spare parts and stuff for old timers, and this is a whole industry by now, which has been grown over the past 20 years, and the same can be true for retro gaming platforms.
Well said, Richard. I'm psyched. I made it to level 3. I did it.
Really?
Yes. Really? I made it to the skies of Hybris. And I was weak. I was in a weakened state. Here we are. I did it without full power. I beat that boss. I learned the mechanics quick. I saw his weakness. I saw his hitbox, and I went for it. And
it's too easy. It's too easy. I made it too easy.
No, you know, and you know what it is too. I played to beat the boss. I didn't play for the points. Like, I saw the enemies launch out of his mouth, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna go after him. I'm just gonna chill down here and try and beat this guy. And that was my strategy. Because I feel like we're in the Cloud City in Star Wars right now. I wish I concentrated a little bit harder during the main part of the stream, and I could have made it here. Also, dude, it's moving fast right now. I mean, these clouds are whipping by.
And that's not even the fast part of the stage.
Oh boy. Fishbot says level 3 is beautiful. I agree. There was something I wanted to say I had a good point and I forgot it. I'll remember. Well, I had an above average point and I forgot what it was. I'll remember it. I'm addicted to the game. Oh my god. Oh my god. All right, I'm gonna go get that power up.
Martin,
oh
we need to talk.
We need to talk. Yeah.
What'd I do? Oh boy. Yeah, no, it's funny because also the other thing that's a little bit tricky is I'm not listening to the. Oh, this is hard. The actual sound of the game. I'm listening to the soundtrack on the Bandcamp. Yeah. So it's
the sound is actually very important, I think, because it provides you with information about if your bullets are hitting something which your ship probably should not hit. That's well, I find it very important.
It's extremely important. It also tells you like when you have when you maxed out, because I wasn't sure. Oh, here we go. This is the screenshot we were looking at before. This is awesome. Yeah, because it's a good point, because sometimes, like, especially with that, oh, this is a neat mechanic. You have to blast your way through the dark one. Oh, that blast the way through down here. See, if I had heard the hits, I'll be able to figure that out faster. But I figured it out. We did all right. I also used another technique to beat the boss because I didn't have. Oh no, because I couldn't shoot fast enough to beat that boss. I was getting closer to him, so it was almost like a faster auto fire, if that makes any sense. Oh no! Wait, 3 times continue, hold fire. I'm holding it. I'm holding it. Did I continue? Yes, I continued. Awesome. Now, I wonder, hold on a second, I gotta pause, because I think it may have switched. I think my music may have switched to someone else. I don't think this is Martin's music. Let me see. Or maybe it is. Let's see. Where am I? Oh. I feel like Bandcamp might have went. Oh no, this is the Sigma 7 Sid remix. This is one you were talking about, Martin. This is the one where they ported. Wow, this sounds incredible, amazing. Pred Zeta Lemon Amiga says the key is to play Bandcamp in the background. That's hilarious. Yeah, Captain John says Amiga Sons will carry on Amiga. I know, Captain John. They will. They'll do it, baby. All right, I'm gonna go back to the game. Because it just sounds so different. I was just like, wait a minute, is this one of my other subscriptions on Bandcamp? This sounds so cool, Martin. I love it. Oh my god. So if you guys weren't in the stream before when Martin was talking about it, one of the songs on the soundtrack, yikes, I got owned there, was converted to Commodore 64 SID and then back again, right? Was it converted back into Amiga or just converted to Commodore 64?
Just converted. It's the SID file just recorded, so.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh no, the charge got me. Wow.
But I'll write Sigma 7 immediately. That's because I think he did a really good job. So.
Yes.
It should be, the video should be fine, guys. Let me check. I think the stream's alright. Let me try. Let me check the health of the stream here. Let's double check. But I mean, I made it to 3. That was kind of my goal. That was my goal for the game, for the stream. Twitch, Amiga Bill. Are we still live? Yeah, we're good, guys. We're looking good, man. We're looking real good. Stream's nice and crispy. Thanks, brother Bill. Thanks, Fishbot. Oh, did I? Oh, I didn't hold down the button. Oh, so no worries, Captain. So how do I get back to level 3? Did it give me a code that I missed? Because I switched over to.
No, you didn't hold the fire button. It's your fault.
Oh no! So after you do all the continues, that's when it gives you the continue code.
Yeah.
Ah.
Sorry.
It's all right. Well, you know what? That might be a good place to end the stream anyway. I finally made it to level 3.
Amiga, but maybe I have to leave the stream now because it's really quite late.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
yes.
I have to get up in 5 hours or something, so it's probably time to get to sleep now for me.
I think it's a good time to wrap up the stream as well. And I have some things to send to. It's really late there. Guys, that was amazing. I just, the problem is with the stream is that the game is so addictive. I could just keep going. Like
I'm sorry.
I don't want to stop playing. I have to work tomorrow too. If I'm gonna be up playing Reshoot-R all night.
But it's really nice to have you to see you, playing the game and really enjoying it. That's what we aim for, and it's great to see that. And you seem to like the game, and that's all we could hope for, really. So that's really great.
I love it, guys. It's really extremely well done. Like I said, it's my kind of game. It's a shooter, and I love it because there's still a lot of depth to the game with the high score, and you also want to progress to the end. But it's challenging, but not too challenging. I like it because the difficulty seems about right. Like, it's very hard. When I first played the game, I'm like, oh my god, this game's impossible. But now, like, I'm already on level 3. So, like, that must be really hard to implement into a game. But, like, the design of the difficulty is just, like, perfect. It's on point. I love it. Let me, just...
Thank you.
Yeah, let me just show you guys Amiga PC. There we go. I just wanted, before we leave the stream, guys, I want to make sure you guys know where to buy Reshoot-R. This is the link right here. I'm going to put it into the chat. So you can buy it at amigashop.org, and as you can see, there are 3 versions of the game: the download version, the signature edition, and the pure edition. If you buy the physical edition, the pure edition, the signature edition, it will also come with a digital download. These things look amazing. The game's awesome. I can't wait to get I'm gonna order. Obviously the store wasn't open, so I haven't ordered my copy yet, but I'm definitely going signature edition. This is something I'm gonna be like really proud to have on my shelf, guys. And of course it's gonna be played on my Amiga, and I'll have the box on the shelf, and it's just awesome. Thanks to everyone for hanging out today. It was just a pleasure. Do you guys have anything else that you would like to add? I mean, I know we've been streaming for over 3 hours now. Is anything that you didn't cover that you want to mention before we sign off?
Well, I have to thank, like Kevin before, I have to thank Martin for his incredible work, is with me for 2 years, 3 years, not sure, but 3 years now, right? And Martin is not only responsible for the main soundtrack, but also for the game website, for example. And he also took care of the speech samples. and yeah, we just chat regarding some other topics too. So Martin's just a great guy, and he like Kevin, he's the one who simply delivers. We can talk, we can discuss things, and when we have discussed things, we both get back to work, and when we are done with our work, we deliver. And this is something which cannot be, it's just so good to have someone around who is obviously able to do one of the best soundtracks you have ever heard on the Amiga. Well, that's my personal opinion, and with also without Martin's music, Reshoot-R would not be Reshoot-R. Quite simply, it's like that. And also the same is true with for the sound effects. So Martin, I have to thank you very much for your great contribution to this game, and I know you've told me that it was your kind of a lifetime dream that you have your music in an Amiga game, and it's I'm pretty happy that I could help you fulfill this lifetime dream, and maybe we will do something else in the future, which is kind of fulfilling again. So thank you very much, Martin.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Martin, go for it. Say thanks for the whole team, because we had a lot of fun doing it. Although we never really met like today. It's the first time that Kevin, Richard, and me met.
Yeah.
To be honest, and met here with you, Bill. So thank you much for this opportunity. I think.
Yes, Bill.
We could talk about the game because we had a lot of, like we said in the song, Herzblut. You know. I don't know the English word for Herzblut. It's just.
It's made from the heart.
No, and I think it's really cool to hang around here with all these guys. And in the chat, I couldn't chat with these guys because my Twitch account is broken up. I don't know, but I see the reactions, and I'm really satisfied that people like the game, that you like the game, actually, that it came out so cool. Yeah, and I really can't wait to get my copy to play it with my son, because he just only played the demo version on the CD32.
But you have the digital copy, right?
I have it, but my son is always here for every 2 weeks, and so he'll be here this weekend now, and we will play the game for sure.
You have the game tomorrow. I think you have it tomorrow.
Oh, super.
Guys, very, very, very well said. The honor is mine to have you guys here, and thank you for those kind words, because I feel like that's my place in the Amiga community, is to bring people together. That's what I've always been doing since I was a kid, running the Amiga user group. Like, I'm not a game designer, I'm not a programmer. Like, it's not my skill, but my skill is just like the Amiga community and bringing people together and connecting. Like, oh, this person's good at this, I'll connect him with this person because they need that. So that's my forte, in the Amiga community. It's my place in the Amiga community. So I'm so glad I could bring you guys together today. That feels amazing. I didn't know you guys weren't all together like that before. So thank you so much for the kind words, and thanks for taking the time to come on the stream. I have a blast doing these streams. So, and this is one of my favorite ones I've ever done in the past few years I've been doing it. So I thank you so much. And thank you for the amazing game. Thank you for the amazing game. I'm going to be enjoying it, and thank you for keeping Amiga alive. It's games like this that keep Amiga alive, and keep us interested in Amiga and keep future generations interested in Amiga. So you guys are the best. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Glad you like it, Bill. Thank
Amiga forever, guys. Yeah. And everyone chats like Amiga. So yeah, just one little order of business before I leave, guys. I know I stream about once a week here on Twitch. I'm gonna be gone for about two and a half weeks. My next stream is gonna be, I think it's June 17th. It's on Sunday. It's going to be a Father's Day stream. My dad is going to come on the stream with me. He was on the stream last year with me. Maybe I'll show him Reshoot-R. I'm sure he'll love it. He was playing it with me last night when I was testing it out. So yeah, guys, I have to go do my real job now for the next 2.5 weeks. I'm working on a new TV show, and I have to travel around the country to shoot this TV show. And then I'll be back. So I'll be back in two weeks on June 17th, guys. I think it's the 17th. It's the second Sunday in June. I'll be back. I'll be back with my dad, broadcasting from his house. So sorry, I'm gonna be gone for a little while, but I gotta go pay the bills. That's life. But I'll be in touch with you guys. You guys know how to find me on Twitter. I'm at the Guru Meditate. on Facebook. It is facebook.com/thegurumeditation. I also have a Discord channel where Kevin, also known as Invent, the creator of the graphics on this game, he's in my Discord all time, posting amazing, inspiring graphic stuff. If you want to know about the Discord, do !Discord in my chat, and you get an invite to it. Yeah, Bill's got to pay the bills. Exactly, Captain. And John, Task John is also in the chat. John is, thank you for hanging out, John. John made one of my other favorite Amiga games, Worthy, which came out last year. I've got that one up on the shelf. It's incredible.
Great game, yeah.
Yeah, so thanks to all you guys who are making new Amiga games in 2019. It's amazing. I had a blast today, guys. Thanks so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it very, very much.
Okay.
All right, guys, that's about it. We are gonna take it to the hot tub. I don't know if you two guys have seen my streams before, but my mascot is a gentleman named Air Yuri. He's a huge Amiga guy in Finland, and he likes to take his clothes off and go like a polar bear into frozen lakes and drink beers and watch my streams. So I know it sounds crazy. You're probably like, what is this guy talking about? Well, you'll see in a second. All right, guys. So take care. Again, Richard and Martin, thanks so much for hanging out. Congrats on the game. And I'll catch all you guys in about 2 weeks live from my dad's basement. Thanks again, guys.
You. Have a good time.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, guys. Take care. Peace out. Thanks everyone for watching today. Peace.